G'day folks, and welcome back to the channel for episode number 17 of our ATV Skater Templar playthrough, where I've done some shopping between episodes. First thing I bought here is the Writ of Homestead. Now, I've just hit Honored with Homestead a little while ago, so I should have bought this a little while ago, but that's fine, we've got it now, and Homestead is the only one who is honored so far. The other thing I bought also from Homestead is two of these Void Vine powders. Now these go on weapons and shield, and it's a little bit of flat fire damage which will only apply to things we actually hit with Fire's Might, but 25% extra fire damage and some chaos res. Small bonuses, not amazing, but it's an augment, it's free effectively. I think it was 600 bits or something, they're very cheap. There's no reason not to use them. The other thing I bought was the emblem of the Shadowy Assassin. We don't currently, or didn't, have an augment on the medal, which means we didn't have a movement skill to put on button number 1. Not that I expect I will be using it super often, however, once we do get a few more devotion points, I will need something to bind Dryad's Blessing to, and it does look like the movement skill is the only real option at the moment. We could maybe look at getting Devastation for later on, or perhaps just put 1 point in the Flash Freeze, and that could be an option as well. But either way, we need an attack, and having a Shadow Strike-like ability that will let us cover long distances. For example, let's say we're up here on this platform and there's a monster down here. Well, that was Via's Might running into the edge of the platform and going nowhere. But you could Shadow Strike and it would actually dash along here, along the edge, and over here. So it's good for movement, for areas maybe that Via's Might won't take us to very well. As far as gear goes, I thought I had a really nice book here, but apparently I didn't notice that it was a codex instead of an archive, and that basically means that this is, well, it's no good, so we're not using that one. And the other gear upgrade I have for right now is the shoulders, which are going to go on and look very spiffy, nicely glowing red. I did also notice that I don't need that silk swatch at the moment for resistances, so bleed is still 8% over cap, pierce is 18% over cap, so we do need 1 silk swatch, but we don't need 2. And all of our resistances are capped, so at least in theory I could maybe put another scaled hide on. In practice, I'm going to leave it completely empty for the moment. There's just no reason to. I will, however, go back to Devil's Crossing and get my Silk Swatch back, because I'm 90% sure I'm going to need this at some point. And the only other thing I wanted to bring up is that this is 17 levels old. Flesh Warped Plate Mail. The armor on it is 290. The armor on our pants is 600. Our shoulders is 400, and these are not heavy shoulders, these are just regular shoulders. So if we had a pair of heavy shoulders, this would probably be around 550 to 600 or thereabouts. And same with the chest here. If we had a current level chest option, it would probably be somewhere around 600 to 700 armor. So this is a lot of armor we're missing out on. Our main defense is not getting hit, because the monster is going to be here, we dash through them, their swing misses, and we're already away from them. One thing that I will have to be careful of is dashing into big groups, because with the current level of armor we have, I'm just going to get absolutely destroyed if I do that. So let's just check the rings. Nothing too amazing there. Okay, let's get a little bit of progress in this episode. Excuse Excuse me. Let's head to Barrowhome. Alright. So we are finished effectively with the first half of Ashes of Malmo content. Or Ashes of Malmuth. That's so hard for me to get used to. I've been saying Malmo for about a year now. It's going to take a little while. What do we got here in terms of armor? We're not going to use it, but yeah, a little bit of iron bits, I guess. I am on the lookout for replacement pieces for just about all of my armor. I went and had a look at them all before I hit record, and well, let's just say the pants and the shoulders are about the only pieces I don't want to replace as soon as I can. 65, we will get a decent set of faction armor from the Coven. Actually, what we should do... Sorry, changing gears here for a second. I'm going to go check the Devil's Crossing faction gear, because I think they have stuff at 50, which we've just hit 52. I may have been completely wrong here. So 70, this stuff is kind of on par with what we already have. It's a little bit more armor. Fizz resist would be quite nice. I could actually wear... Could I wear this? I would lose way too much resistance, so not really. Okay. So it turns out I was wrong. However, since we're here, is there any rare chest pieces? It may even be worth looking at some... something like this. I mean, 800 armor on the chest piece is a pretty big deal. Can I do it for resistances though? Yes, it looks like I can. You know what? We're doing it. We're going to wear a yellow chest piece. Just for that armor. The Cunning and Spirit don't hurt, but they're not particularly amazing. And same with the resistances. But that armor is just kind of too good not to use, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to make that trade, and I will keep this add-on. That's good to go. What about these? No, we're keeping those current ones. Okay. I feel a little safer now. I don't feel like I need to be worried that I'm going to die in one hit if someone happens to hit me. So that actually will help a lot with feeling tanky. It's not going to help a huge amount with actually being tanky, but it will definitely help. And we do have a new helmet coming at 55, which is a big increase in armor, and same for the belt, also at 55, which will also be a decent boost in armor. Belt armor is applied to every slot, so that will be really good for our defenses. Okay. I will note as well that this particular episode is being played on the 1.2 test patch. I noticed I was getting a lot of crashes with the Spellbreaker playthrough, but I haven't had any on this one. So I'm not sure if that means anything. It might just mean that... Oh, there we go. I take it all back. Grim Dawn has crashed. I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, we've made it back after our little crash there, and I did hit 53 on the way up here, and we are going to put those points into Divine Mandate, and we will open the portal again, and we'll head on through. Now, being as this is a chthonic area, chaos resistances are important, as are vitality resistances. And I noticed something interesting when I opened Grim Dawn and logged back in again, was that I had 85% max vitality and 85% max aether, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from, so I started taking items on and off, and I took this the codex off and put it back on again, and now I'm back down to 80%. So I have no idea where I was getting 5% max from, but it does appear to be gone now, which is, I mean, I guess it's unfortunate. I'd like to have some more free resistances, but I'd also like to know where it was coming from. I was checking here for the obsidian shard. There is an obsidian shard in here, which will give us a guaranteed blue item, which at this point in the character's progress, I would love to get a blue chest or something like that. Here it is. Let's see what we're getting today. We're getting this dude, apparently. Okay, we got a gun and an offhand. We're also standing in stuff. So Virulent Maw is an offhand, which is obviously no good for us. The other thing is there are a couple of rare chests here, neither of which I'll be using. And I am also on the lookout for a new metal. Now, the Scorched End suffix is good. That's the fireball proc there, and I think the fire damage and burn damage as well. And potentially the Spirit and Offensive, I'm not sure about that. But I'm looking at this metal, and it's kind of same, honestly. But it does have much better resistances. So this is something to... I'm actually going to keep that, just for the resistances, honestly. This one is pretty good for the offensive and defensive stats. It does still have the 35% LE damage, which could be good, but I think we'll keep the other one. Having said that, let's go ahead and put some fire on the floor and then dodge those and see if we can't kill a few of these. Now, I am still being sundered by these, so I have to keep an eye on that. Because Sunder is actually a lot of extra damage, and I don't really want to be taking it, if I can avoid it. It is possible that I just can't avoid it, and it's just something that's going to happen, whether I want it or not. Because we haven't had, as far as I'm aware, we haven't had the patch that is coming this week that will fix that particular issue, but I haven't had it yet, so I'm just fiddling with the map on the other screen there. If you're not fairly confident in where you're going and what you're doing, I highly recommend having that map active. That's the grimtools.com map. I'm not 100% sure why, but I typically have it running whenever I go through here and then kind of leave it. Apparently I'm not confident that I know this area, even though I've been through here many times, and I did just go through here on the Spellbreaker as well. With that said though, we are coming up on a nice fun boss fight. It's a few rooms in front, but we're going to have some volcanoes to dodge. Tyrant's Obsidian War Cleaver, really good drop there for a Force Wave character, which we are not, but you know, if we were, that'd be a really good drop. Okay, definitely starting to feel the age of my gear as well. The fireball procs are kind of not so great anymore, but we can talk about that in a second. So, this boss here, he's going to do fire damage, he's going to do chaos damage, he's I think going to do vitality as well, but it's mostly the fire that you have to worry about. There's probably some lightning in there too, but I think 133 over cap should be enough with that. So we have a few things to dodge. Basically, when he puts his volcano on the floor, you don't want to be standing in it. And that's something you're going to have to watch out for. There it is. So I'm just going to run away from that. Now he's half dead already, which is nice. Dashing straight into that attack is definitely not nice. There's another volcano, so we'll just go over here. hopefully not stand in too much extra damage, and down he goes. Wasn't expecting too much in the way of difficulty from him, however, I have definitely been surprised a few times about just taking a ton of extra damage out of nowhere on some of these bosses. So, did play it a little bit scared, but honestly I do feel fairly fairly squish on this character, actually. I think the Spellbreakers kind of spoiled me for tankiness, which is not something I thought I would ever be saying when I started playing that build. I never thought I would be saying it's tanky, but turns out it is. Right, so talking to Ulgrim, basically you can say whatever you like, just don't pick this one, he will kill you. At this point in the game, except if you're playing a pet build, most builds are going to get stomped by him. But hey, there is an achievement for beating him, so, I mean, if you're on softcore, maybe give it a shot. Okay, let's head through this last little section here. I have taken a wrong turn here, I should have gone up this way, but it doesn't matter. All roads lead to the exit in this section. These guys are a pain as well. Yeah, it definitely might be time to do a shopping episode for this character. We'll have to see how we go, but I definitely need to get some upgrades for my gear, and vendor shopping is a way to do that. What do we get there? Well, we already know Zeal. That's fine. Alright, let's see if we can't make it to Malmouth. That is really going to take some getting used to. Alright, so we got some cultists to kill. Some Chthonians as well. These tyrants are good fun. Look at all those dots we're stacking on them. Just silly. Okay. Go back for that for sure. Those Chthonian seals, definitely noting that I run out of those a fair bit. Definitely not going to use those, but I am looking at the bonuses on them. They do look decent. But yeah, if we could get a couple more sort of level 50-ish fireball procs, I might start feeling a lot better about the damage of this build. Those Winter Storm procs on the Spellbreaker was definitely carrying it, so I'm kind of wondering if we can't do something similar with Fireball on this one. Though having said that, we don't get anywhere near the amount of benefit out of the skill points and such on this build as we did with the Winter Storm stuff on the Spellbreaker. Okay, so I'm checking for the portal. I think we will go in there if I do find it. Making liberal use of the mirror here. And watching my health bar. It's getting uncomfortably low. I have to use a potion for the first time in forever. Okay, we got some blue items here, and I like blue items. I do like these gloves as well. So, armor is one thing that I'm really noticing that I'm short on. I think I could use these gloves. That would give me some more armor, but I would lose damage, and I did just finish saying how much I was sort of worried about the armor, the damage of this build. Having said that, These could also be good. No, they're rubbish. Royal jelly extract. I like my royal jelly. Sky tear hat we can't use because we need the MI. That's a cold weapon. That's also a cold weapon. Alright, so we dipped out, which is unfortunate. Let's actually see if we can't just run straight through to the city, because there is a devotion shrine right out the front there that I would like to get my hands on. And we can come back for Dahlia's quest, or skip it. Should check what faction rep you get for Dahlia's quest, if any. There may not be any. Alright, we're just gonna dash through these guys a few times, put some fire on the floor. You know how it is. Alright, do we actually have... Definitely don't do this, by the way. Okay, we do have the regen on Giant's Blood, or on, was it Arcane, this one, Arcane Will. Alright, they're under control. Let's continue heading over to that devotion shrine. I want to get that and then get the waypoint. And then I may just go do a little bit of shopping, because I honestly feel pretty weak on this character, and I'd like to stop feeling weak. Alright, there is... Vile Scorn leg plates could be good. Generally speaking, on most of my leveling builds I end up using Vile Scorn leg plates at some point, and then I always have trouble getting rid of them because they have... Nope, I'm thinking of a different pair. There's another pair of Swamp Dweller leggings, maybe? There's a pair of legs that have like 60% poison resist on them, and they're always impossible to get rid of. Pretty much don't use any MI legs on any of my builds, just because I don't think there are any, aside from the different sect legs, and those are a pain to farm, so I just don't end up using them. Okay, we did just get another level as well, which is nice. And let's turn the loot back on. Okay, I'll talk to Olgrim here. And I'm actually going to call this episode here because I want to go shopping, and I'm not going to bore you all by making you watch me search through vendors. So that'll be all for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and goodbye for now.